Hey out there, we'll be starting in about a minute. We're just checking levels and everything like that. So just give us a minute and then we'll be starting. Okay, Stevie, talk a little bit so that the few people listening can let us know if our levels sound about even to them.
Hello, people.
Yeah, how do our levels sound to you guys? Are we about even?
I just hope they can hear me at all.
Well, I can see the audio level going up and down, so I'm sure they can hear you.
That'd be ideal.
Yeah, we'll give a minute or two for people to pop in before we actually start the show.
I'm a
Uh,
little bit nervous, so you'll have to bear with me.
that's fine. You should have seen me an hour before the podcast. I'm like, shit, there's new news. I have to redo the notes. I have to make the overlay. Then I have to slot the overlay in, and I'm pulling the overlays in and out to make sure they're in the right order because you can only see one at a time. And I'm sitting there going, is this the right order? Because
It's
I know what,
clutch podcasting.
yeah, because I know what's going to happen at some point is the notes are going to be out of order, and I'm not going to realize it. Okay, I think we'll start about now. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. I'm Mark. I run With the Will. We're here to entertain and inform you a bit. And we have a special guest co host today.
Hi, I'm Stevie. I host the Moncast where we talk about the inferior Mon show and Digimon.
Now, Victor's off getting married as we speak. We don't know exactly when Victor will be back, but he will be. But congratulations to Victor. Getting married's probably more productive than the podcast.
I
Um,
don't know, it's pretty close.
so, tell us about the Moncast. Do you guys go episode by episode? How do you go about doing that?
Well, every episode we watch an episode of Pokemon and an episode of Digimon. We'll talk about each of those for as long as we fancy talking about them.
Do you
And
pick
then,
do you pick episodes that like thematically match each other in any way?
not at all, we are literally just going one episode at a time. So
I,
it
I,
is
I
just
don't
like
know.
episode
I
10
don't know
to
if
10.
that's brilliant or stupid or both.
It's probably both.
Because I can just imagine like one show's gonna have a deadly serious episode, and the other episode's gonna be about candy or something.
Yeah, we just finished the first season of Digimon, so we're going on to Zero Two soon. And the last episodes we compared were The Fate of Two Worlds and Princess versus Princess, which shows just how different Pokemon and Digimon can be at times.
Yeah, that has to be weird to compare and contrast those type of episodes.
They just have nothing in common most of the time. We come up with the dumbest similarities that we could think of, like, there were forests in both of these episodes. That's the extent to some of the similarities we come up with.
Um, let, let's see. So you do the Moncast. What else do you do, Stevie?
Um, I also do another podcast. Well, it's pretty new, and it's called Games I've Played. And I just ramble a little bit on my own, talking about a video game that I've completed.
I love video games. I may give that a listen.
You should. I put all the episodes up on YouTube, and I also release them a week early for patrons.
Hmm. Okay, so how do you get introduced to Digimon, Stevie? Just so that because I'm not sure if our listeners know you or not. So, uh,
I was introduced to Digimon probably when I was like 3, when I was given the VHS tapes, which became redundant over a decade ago now, probably.
uh, well, we'll get into how redundant those tapes may have been for you actually later in the episode. Um,
Yeah, I had like volume 1, volume 2, and then skipped to volume 5 for some reason. So
that's
I was
that
just missing half the first arc.
that actually vaguely sounds like the history of Digimon in the UK.
Really was. How could that be possible? They must have released 3 and 4 at some point.
Oh, I'm sure they did, but you guys have had some weird video releases.
Mm.
So, what do you like and don't you like about Digimon overall? Just so that everyone can get kind of a handle on where you stand on stuff.
What
Like,
do I like and
like
what
okay,
don't I like?
okay. What do you think of Adventure?
I like adventure, but that's mostly for nostalgia reasons.
Okay,
Looking back on it now, it's not as good as I remember it being, but I'll still enjoy it when I watch it.
okay. O2.
Okay, I watched it. I watched it in college, I think, all the way through,
Okay,
and was fine with it.
okay.
Like I didn't find it awful.
What about Tamers?
That's my favorite season of Digimon. I just, but again, I watched it when I was a teenager, so the darker themes just appealed to me more.
So you're sitting there watching Digimon Tamers, listening to Linkin Park.
I've not really listened to Linkin Park unless you count the tracks in Guitar Hero.
Okay, Frontier.
I remember nothing about it. I've watched it all,
Yeah, that has
but I've forgotten most of it.
that hasn't really come up much in the UK, I believe. Frontier. What about Savers slash Data Squad?
I quite liked Savers, but
Okay.
again, it's one of those series I've only watched once, so I only have vague memories of it.
Okay. What about
But I did like that one.
Cross Wars slash Fusion slash Hunters?
I've not watched any of those yet.
Okay. What do you
I've
think of
seen the first episode of the dub. That was a experience.
what do you think of Try so far?
I'm I've got mixed feelings about Try. Like on the one hand, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad that there's new Digimon, and on the other hand, it's not as good as I wish it could be.
Okay. And any feelings about Atmon so far?
I've not been watching it.
Okay. Fair enough. Uh, any feelings on the various Mongor video games?
I enjoy the video games quite a lot. I've played a few of the DS games, and I really like the Digimon World games on the PlayStation 1,
Okay.
and more recently, Next Order and Cyber Sleuth. I've liked those a lot as well.
Okay, so I think that gives everyone at least like a baseline of everything.
Yeah, I like a lot of Digimon.
Yeah. It's a shock you liking Digimon being on this Digimon podcast. Um, I guess I should explain how we know each other. We sort of don't. I believe our primary interaction was you had tweeted something and I said, your name's Stevie Patmore and I misread that as Stevie Patamon and that makes me happy. And your response was, no, it is Stevie Patamon.
Yep, that was already my Twitter handle.
Yeah. So I assumed that I had seen it and assumed I misread
Yeah, it's a nickname that was bestowed to me by Ashley from Prodigious.
it.
So it's very, very important to me that that nickname is mine.
Yeah,
But
it fits very well and it matches your name very well. Like even looking at the little thing that says Stevie Patmore, I keep reading it as Patamon. Um, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just
Okay.
laughing.
So before we get on to the news, we have some site business. Our interview with Joshua Seth is still coming up. It should be coming up soon. Uh, I've rewritten the questions and those are all in. So there'll be an update on that soon, though. And then for some more fun stuff, we're giving away Digimon prizes for Try coming out in the US. Uh, the contest is on the website. 2 people are going to win, and each person gets a prize pack. The prize pack's going to be the combo pack of Try Part 1, which is the Blu-ray, the DVD, and a DRM-free digital copy. The lithograph of the cover, so just nice poster rolled up in a tube, and 3 of the Digimon Domes collectible figures. Have you seen any of the domes yet, Stevie?
I've seen them in a couple Twitter pictures. just like massive rows of the same Digimon
Yeah,
from some sport pack
I
of all of
don't
them.
think these are announced for the UK yet, but hopefully you guys get them.
They remind me of little Pokemon ones that I had years and years ago. I had one with Psyduck and one with Horsey.
Okay. And exceedingly rare we're able to do this. We have a UK contest for UK and Ireland.
Yay!
Uh, Contest is largely formatted the same, except one prize is the Blu-ray, one prize is the DVD. This is a very rare quick release after a US release for you guys, isn't it?
It's rare that we get anything at all in the UK.
Yeah.
It's
But
always nice when we do get stuff, though.
yeah, you guys are still sort of waiting and hoping you'll get the rest of the seasons because they've stopped at 02, right?
Yeah, I really want Tamers on DVD.
Well, hopefully it'll be coming up next. Um, the US contest ends May 7th. The UK contest ends May 21st.
Because of time zone differences of 2 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't really. I believe I have them both set to end Pacific time because that's just when I'll be awake and able to close them out. But we'll see. Um, On to the actual news. We're gonna start off with the only game news we have at the moment. We have a character profile for Erica from Hacker's Memory, who is so far the only new character we know of, minus the protagonist Keisuke.
And they look interesting.
Yeah, her profile is kind of interesting. Basically, she was in a traffic accident, and her brain is linked to Eden, so she's been turned into like a super hacker because her brain's hooked up to the network. And it looks like they're sort of setting her up also as a NEET who kind of just hangs out on her own to a degree.
Mm.
Yeah, and I believe you're a Cyber Sleuth fan, aren't you, Stevie?
Yeah, I've got the Platinum Trophy in Cyber Sleuth.
So you've done everything
Yeah, I think I'm one of maybe, I think it's 0.4% of players that I've done everything in it.
So you're really excited for this one then.
Oh, I'm looking forward to another 100 hours of Digimon game.
Do you have any feelings one way or the other about the slightly upgraded Cyber Sleuth not being included?
There was a slightly upgraded Cyber Sleuth.
Hacker's Memory in Japan is gonna come with it's going to come with the PS4 version of Cyber Sleuth because they never got it, and they're gonna add the Hacker's Memory Digimon to it.
Ah,
Although I wouldn't be shocked if they upgrade our version when it comes out.
that would be nice if they released it as DLC for the original game.
Yeah. Hopefully,
But
I think if they did it, they'd do it as a free upgrade to help advertise Hacker's Memory.
that would be a good way to get people back into it, and just even if they just see an update for the game that they've already got,
Yeah.
it's a good way of notifying players that
Yeah.
there's a sequel out.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do, but they won't really answer questions about it one way or the other at the moment.
No, when it comes to localizing things, it can be a bit weird
Yeah,
as
but
to what they can and can't do.
at least you guys know it's coming because well, like you said, a lot of times with the UK, you guys just don't know if Digimon stuff's gonna show up or not.
No, it's awful when things get announced and then unannounced. It's really annoying.
That that's been the history of the brand in the UK. That's actually it for game news. So let's move on to Appmon stuff. We have exactly one Appmon thing, and it's probably not exciting to most people. The third Appmon rental DVD is available May 2nd in Japan at Japanese video stores.
So any Japanese listeners can go and get that,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. They use aspects of the cover art from the DVD box, and it's going to be episodes 8 through 10. Nothing really exciting there, but it's nice to see they're continuing them on. And I'm guessing Ray and Hackmon will be on the fourth disc. Yeah, so that's it for Appmon. we're moving on to try. The part five, the website was updated for part five finally.
And when's part 5 coming again?
2017.
That's all we know.
That's all we know. Although on the good side, they've been rather consistent about that, despite people theorizing about it being heavily delayed till next year. They've pretty consistently over the last 2 months just said 2017, 2017, 2017. So
And that's good.
yes. So the website's been reskinned and everything with the new image. It has the pink theme. It had a few other bits of information. Hiroto Mitsutaka, who's been one of the screenwriters of Try since the beginning, it appears he's going to be the only screenwriter for Part 5. And I believe... I know he wrote and co-wrote Parts 1, 2, and 3. I don't remember if he was on Part 4, to be honest. They also added evolution charts for the various Digimon, and everyone ran off to look at one specific character, and it did not have the one bit of information everyone wanted, which was telling us who exactly Tailmon will end up evolving into. They're only showing stuff up through Part 4. And
that's smart.
yeah, yeah. But it's just funny because I think I even wrote in the news, you're not going to find the one thing you want, and everyone still ran off looking to see if they might have listed Tailmon. And they do list her, but they only list her to Angelomon.
Where do you stand on that debate?
I don't
Who do you
particularly
think it is?
care, to be honest. I think the evidence everyone has pulled out is sort of just to guess one way or the other. Like, the evidence we have so far is that since Frontier, they've reasonably consistently in many things shown her evolving to a Phanimon. That's whatever degree of proof person A wants. Person B says, but the Try complete selection animation Digivice and that card set shows Holy Dramon. That's proof for person B. The problem is the CSA Digivice is wrong on a number of things, despite it being a Try product. And the card set specifically says it's only for parts 1 through 4, but it's showing her evolve to a level that she doesn't evolve to in parts 1 through 4. And so I think I kind of take it as the products did something so that they would have it, but I don't know if that has any bearing or clues to the actual show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the card set showed a Phanimon fall down mode. That could have been a big teaser in the card set. But like the CSA Digivice that came out right around when Part 1 came out. It actually has mistakes for almost every single Digimon.
Well, at least that's consistent.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the CSA Digivice?
I've never kept up with the Digivices that much myself, so I've not seen it.
I generally don't because I'm just not a VPET person. This is more of a like a prop type item. And you hit buttons and you can cycle through the Digimon and have the evolution sound effects. The mistake they make for everyone is they all warp Digivolve or warp evolve. None of them do the ultimate evolution like they do in Try. And they actually have a full sequence for Omegamon on it, like voiced and everything, which Try Part 1 didn't even have. Then after the evolution charts, they gave us a relatively neat like relationship type chart, which we translated and image edited and everything and put it up. And I'm trying to decide if we should be taking this as literal or if we should take it as what the characters believe.
It's quite a complicated flowchart looking at it.
It is, but some of it I kind of wonder, like, Like they do a good job of sort of not telling us what's going on with the mysterious man in Jedi.
Mm.
And they list Alphamon with Yggdrasil, but I'm the rare the one or two times we've seen Alphamon, it doesn't seem like he's doing what the mysterious man's doing. So I wonder if he's really there, or if this is meant to be a chart to represent where everyone thinks everyone is.
Yeah, it's unclear what Alphamon's goals actually are
Yeah.
at the moment.
Well, because
All that he's done is shown up in the real world and
yeah.
wreaked havoc.
Well, that's why I'm curious, because we know the mysterious man needs Meikumon to go off on a rampage, and the chart even says that. But Alphamon looked like he was trying to destroy Meikumon, which doesn't quite fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So we're kind of taking Hackmon at his word as to what's going on. And on top of that, we have a. It's not really a summary, it's more of a sort of teaser for the plot of Part 5. It's basically the kids end up back in the real world and are on the run from people chasing them because they have Digimon partners. It teases what's going to happen with Hikari. And there's a lot of text, but it says very little. It is a very, very good teaser in that it if you just look at it, you'd think, wow, they're telling us a lot. And really, you can condense that all down to like 3 sentences.
yeah, there's a lot of fluff.
Yeah, and that's actually been one thing the Tri team has been really good at promotion wise is making it look like they're telling us stuff, but when you stop and think about it, they don't really tell us anything. And that's it for the Tri website update, but now that the website's updated, hopefully we'll start getting more stuff soon. Next up is Yoshimasa Hosoya is on hiatus from work while getting treatment for his throat. We can guess that this is probably why he's not scheduled for DigiFest this year, but we don't really know, and they're not really commenting further on what it is. Other than that, there's an event for another show in October, I believe, that he's actually scheduled for at the moment.
Well, let's hope he gets better.
Yeah.
That's. I don't really have much else to say on that front.
Yeah. It appears that he plans to be back to work by the end of the year, and that could even be why they're not giving us dates for Tri Part 5 for all we know. They may be pushing it back so that they can have 5 and 6 come out reasonably close together in case there's a delay in production, for all we know. But we don't really know. On to more US and UK information. Shout's been giving out clips for the US release of Tri Part 1, which is out really soon. It's out May 16th in the US. And in the UK, Manga UK put up some clips on their Twitter of one of their staff members playing around with the packaging. So it looks like you guys will be getting that on May 22nd without any further delays.
Which will be good.
Yeah,
I think it's the first time it'll be legitimately available to watch Tri in the UK.
Yes, because you guys haven't had it streaming, and I believe they originally announced it for, what was it, last September or last December, I think. Then it got kicked back to March, then kicked back to May because you're a sub-licensee of the US region.
All sorts of licensing issues have delayed this release.
And based on the packaging clips, it appears they've changed the title terms they're going to be using for you guys. Because they've pretty consistently shown the same packaging, but the packaging in their clips looks to have changed slightly. And that's actually it for Tri News, or at least things we're sure are Tri News. Last time on the podcast, we talked about the I Love Patamon plush. They're doing a second I Love Tailmon Crane plush that comes out May 25th, and it's 9 inches tall, and it's really pastel-y looking, don't you think?
Yeah, it doesn't look like plush material. It
I
looks weird.
I think it's more like a press render, and they've added sort of a
Mm.
weird texturing to it to make it look like it's fluffy.
Yeah, it just looks more like it's being colored in crayon.
Um, and I like that it has the whistle though.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
Yeah. Now, for the news we just added right before the show. We're getting new figures from Tamashii Nation, and we don't know much about them. Um, what's interesting is they have the name up on the site in both English and Japanese. For English, it's going to be called Digivolving Spirits, and the Japanese text says Super Evolution Spirit, which could be Super Evolution Soul, but since in English they're going with spirits, let's just go with spirit for that. And the teaser gives us some clues. And we have, it looks like there's a placard of the Wargreymon figure, and they took a photo of that. But we actually know almost not. It's almost just a guessing game at this point. So, do you want to try doing any guesses first, Stevie, or should we just kind of go through everything we can?
I'm just guessing what figurines they're going to be
The well,
making.
the easy guess would be that it's going to be all eight from Adventure.
Yeah, that would be obvious.
Now the first one's War Greymon, but the question then is if they're all going to be Adventure figures, why have they labeled him as Digimon Adventure?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Now a lot of people are thinking that these are going to be evolution figures, but I'm not sure for one reason. Um, One, the photo just isn't clear enough for us to figure out if this is an evolution figure or not. Most people see that it says evolution in the name of the line and go, they're going to be evolution figures, but that kind of gets used in Japan for a lot for Digimon, and the name actually doesn't quite match because Super Evolution has pretty consistently been used in at least let's say Adventure for going from adult to perfect, so from champion to ultimate. And the only figure we've seen is War Greymon, who does not evolve that way. So I'm sort of wondering if maybe it's saying super evolution, like they're super figures. And people in the chat room are even saying the same thing I was about to say, which is the what little we can see of that War Greymon figure seems to have too much detail for a transforming figure like this.
Yeah, it looks to be almost too high quality.
Yeah. Um, and of course, like we were saying, what's interesting is they already have an English name for the line using English terms. And Tamashii stuff sometimes will show up in the US and even the UK rather quickly.
If these turn up in the UK, I will have to hunt them down.
Um, they've lit the countdowns of about 28 days away at this point. But what's interesting is they've lit up one crest symbol, even though on the site there is nothing to see. It's just the countdown. So are they going to light up more as time goes on? Do the do the crests actually represent the adventure characters in this case? It could just be we're going to get like one figure from each part of the franchise at first, and each one of the crests represents that. But we can really just kind of theorize at this point.
I would go with the guess that it's going to be all eight megaforms. Just going off the fact that there's already eight crests and one of them's lit up, and we've got the first image, and it's of the matching Digimon.
So the only reason I'm not sure about that is because what do you do about Tailmon?
You settle on the Digivolution that you want to sell.
Or they're going to be releasing these at a slow enough pace that they won't have to show Tailmon until we know what's going on.
Yeah, that would be a good plan as well.
But the one photo we have actually does look really nice, like shockingly nice. And do you think this is just going to kind of replace the Digimon Fig Arts, which we haven't seen one of in a while, actually?
I've never followed the Digimon figures. I have one Digimon figure, and it's of TK and Patamon from like the Gem series.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've never really followed them because they've always been so expensive.
Okay. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Um, oh, one thing that is worth mentioning, I was actually thinking about this right when some in the chat room mentioned, they're wondering if it's going to be Adventure or Try because most of the Megas don't show up in Try. But then why list War Greymon as Adventure then? Because if it was just going to be all the Megas, wouldn't you just list it as being part of Try?
Hmm.
So who knows? I mean, we don't even know if it's really going to be a War Greymon figure. It could be a small figure of Agumon and War Greymon showing, the normal level and the highest. It could be so many things that we could literally just spend an hour theorizing about what the hell it is.
It will all be revealed with time.
Yeah, and of course the countdown ends in about 28 days, so we actually don't have a long time to wait to at least have some idea of what we're getting. Even if it's only seeing War Greymon, we'll at least have a good idea at that point. So if these come to the UK, you're gonna get them.
If I have the money for them, then probably.
Okay.
I'd need the shelf space as well,
Yeah.
though. That
What
might be harder to find.
What would you actually prefer for this type of thing? Would you prefer that it's the 8 from Adventure? Would you, like maybe one's Adventure, one's O2, one's Tamer, and they just go through the brand one by one? Like, assuming Tamashi does a line of just Digimon figures, which is what this appears to be, what would your hope be for it?
I would probably want the full set from Adventure more than
Okay.
just the protagonist's partner from each series.
And since someone in the chat room was asking about there being an Angelomon figure recently, and have we had a War Greymon? Just remember, this is not gem figures. These are a completely separate line, so it's disconnected from what Gem Mega House Gem's doing. So you could end up with the same. You could end up with characters that have shown up before, or any number of things. Consider them two completely separate things. Um, do you think these are going to be cheap, affordable, or break the bank?
I think they'll be getting more towards breaking the bank than anything.
I'm kind of hoping they'll skew towards fig arts prices, so between 30 and 60. I think that'd be a
That'd be great,
yeah.
but I don't think they'll be that low.
I think it. The question is what like are these going to be action figures or are these going to be more collectible statue type things? If they're
Mm.
collectible statues, they're going to be expensive. If they're action figures, especially a whole line, I think they might skew a little bit more affordable, but we don't really know. And I think that's about all the theorizing we can do on that. And on to the big, big, big thing. This is. We have all the details for Digimon Adventure the Real World. And wow, they're putting together a big thing. Like, it's a museum exhibition, but they're doing a lot. Um, it begins May 3rd, so it's just a few days away. I want to say that's Wednesday. May 3rd. Yeah, next Wednesday it begins,
Yep.
and it ends on May 14th. Um, we've there's the commemorative medallion and the wristband for if you get the nicer tickets. But they've finally done some previews of the. Whoops. And I've been forgetting to switch over the images, so let me slide those slowly. Whoopsie doodle. I got distracted by us talking. So I'm just cycling through those up to the one that we're doing now. There we go. I got too distracted by talking. And the I love the little anime map they've drawn of it.
It looks really nice.
Yeah. Um, and not just the anime map, they've given a preview of some of the exhibitions. The first one is a giant Digivice, And I don't know why, but I'm really impressed by the detail work that they've done. Where, like, if you look inside, you can see the resistors, and you can even sort of see the traces on the board and everything. I don't know why, but that just pleases me.
It shows that they've put in the effort.
Yeah,
Like it shows that they love it almost as much as we do,
yeah. And
if not more.
and what do you think of the next preview of the of one of the exhibitions, Stevie?
Is this of the trolley car?
No, the one before that.
What of just Agumon and Gabumon?
Yeah, they're gonna have 200 pieces of production art on display, along with a um, Kenji Watanabe art that he had drawn for the original V Pets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because he's still designing Digimon stuff since day one, actually.
I only see the artwork whenever I'm looking things up on Wikipedia pages,
um,
but it's always really good.
yeah, and then the last photo spot, which you mentioned, is going to be the train car from the final episode, and it looks like you'll be able to wander in there to take a commemorative photo.
It looks smaller than I imagine it actually is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see photos from the event to see what some of this stuff actually looks like, and of course they're not showing us everything. And we don't know what section it's going to be in. They're going to have a display of the original V Pets, a bunch of the other LCD toys and games, along with new products on display. So it's actually possible that they'll have the Digivolution Spirit figures on display there, and we might get photos of them early.
But that would be spoilers.
Well, that's why we need to hope someone gets photos of them so we can see what's going on, if they're there. Basically, it's going to be a huge 20th anniversary section. And we have a proper map of each section, but not necessarily telling us what each section is in context. So, well, let's go through those one by one. We have the entrance corner, which is where the giant Digivice is going to be. Kuwagamon corner, no idea. The Edamon Juraimon corner, I can imagine what that section will be. Pinocchiomon corner. The Genai exhibition corner. The Vamdemon castle corner. And the final story train photo spot corner. Any guesses what these may be? Mine is just, various parts of the exhibition.
I'm going to guess that most of these won't actually be in corners, despite being called corner for every single one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was pulling up what these meant. It's like I'm sorry, number 3 and 4 aren't really corners.
They're sort of in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, but okay, so when they have the Genai exhibition corner, what do you think that's gonna be? Is it just gonna be like a statue of him that you can take a photo with?
That would be a very boring way to do it. I would find it quite funny if they just had videos of Genai in the background saying exposition about the museum at you.
Actually, I wonder if the Genai exhibition corner will be where they'll have all the artwork and everything. Because, they call it an exhibition and all that. Who knows? And because they've been enjoying selling lots and lots of stuff to people at Digimon events, we have a bunch of products to go over.
Of course we do.
Now, the first one is 10 big can badges with gold edging, and they're going to be blind packed, and each is going to cost 500 yen. And it's going to use the art from the exhibition. Do any of these look good to you, Stevie?
Well, they look good, but I don't think they're worth $5 each.
I feel like it'd be worth it if you could pick one. I feel like when it's blind bag, you're sort of getting hosed.
Yeah.
Like if you told me, because these are big ones that are like 3 inches in diameter. If you told me for $5 I could pick one, then yeah, I'd probably pick one or two. But random, no.
No. I don't like the fact that they've added in an extra 2 just to have Tai and Kari and Matt and TK. in
Well, but
extra badges.
but it's a purchase limit of 10, so they had to find a way to shove in two more. Um, I actually like the next item, which is basically the same thing but in acrylic keychain form, and they're not random.
And I'd probably prefer a keychain to a badge anyway.
Yeah, and these
I'm
are
more likely to
uh,
have keychains.
yeah, these are 800 yen. And is it just me, or did they like, or is the scale between Takaru and Patamon sort of off in that one? Like, is Patam like
Oh,
I know he's in front of Takaru, but is he drawn like really big?
yeah, he looks to be bigger than TK's head.
Yeah. Um, and those are made of acrylic. And then we get the clear file, which every Japanese event has a clear file. This one's no different. And it's just the key art, and although this is actually cheap. I mean, can you imagine a use for these for yourself, just to carry around papers, or not really?
I hardly use paper anymore.
Uh,
I don't know anyone that does.
yeah, about the same with me. The next item, I don't know what to think about. It's masking tape. Um, there's 8 rolls of masking tape. Each one comes with 32 inches of tape, and they're 500 yen each. Um, I don't know what the point. I mean, I get that it's fun. It just feels a bit too much. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Like
I never want to use it because
that
it's
yes, that's basically the problem. Is unless you're decorating something Digimon, but then it's like you're using tape that you can never get back. It's a disposable product. I don't know. I like the next item though. Acrylic magnets.
yeah, those look cute.
Yeah, it's just the Digimon. They're 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Each is 400 yen, and they're blind packed again though.
Of course they are.
Although it feels like these are a bit cleaner and look, even though it uses the same art of the Digimon, I feel like these I don't mind getting any of them. Like if I were to open it up, I'm not like there may be ones I'd prefer to get, but I don't dislike any of them. If that makes sense.
You could get a few of them and they'd work as a combination still because they all have the
Yeah.
same shape and general layout.
Unless you buy 8 and every single one's like Gabumon, that could be upsetting.
That would be annoying.
Yeah.
Don't they tend to have boxes containing one of each though, in general?
Yeah, but for all we know, they're throwing them, putting them into a pot, a stack, and they may be completely out of order, or who knows. Um, the next item is a flip note. It's like a 4-page notebook with notepad paper in it, themed after the characters. It's 700 yen, and it's actually not that bad price wise, and I don't really take notes anymore, but if I did, I think I'd like this, to be honest.
I don't think I'd like it that much.
I
But I'd prefer blank paper to anything.
Yeah, well, I think it'd be more like a thing that you'd put on like a table or desk rather than actually using, though. Even if it was something you'd get.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know why I like the next item. Themed water bottles. It's just clear water bottles. They're 1,500 yen each. Each one's themed after the Digimon, and they even have the color gender coded for the characters. I don't know why, but these look so not stupid, but like they're so basic, and they look like they would actually work. I kind of like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, half
Uh,
a liter bottles are pretty good as well.
yeah,
It's
and,
good size.
yeah, and I love the mug designs. I don't know why, but I just like the mugs, and I like the way they're displaying them, where they've sort of flattened them. And
It looks like they've just made it in one of those make your own mug
yes,
websites.
that's why I like it. But I like that you get the key art and the real world logo on one, and the other you get the um, sort of line art version of the Digimon with the comic book type text. And I don't know, I like both these mugs, but the one mug that I have from Japan, it's really small, and I tend to have bigger cups of tea or coffee, so I haven't really used it just because it just doesn't hold enough for me. But I don't know, I like these, and I think something like this is a bit more fairly priced when you look at some. A lot of these items are kind of overpriced crap.
Yeah,
1,200. That's about $12. That's a bit fair. I think that's fairly priced for like a collector's mug.
and it's something that you're more likely to use
Yes,
regularly.
like yeah. Then we have the book style smartphone cases, and I like these because they're actually designed. They didn't just slap on the key art and call it a day.
Mm.
Each of these is about it's 2,980 yen, so about $30. It's way too much for a phone case for me. They don't give phone models though, so I assume it uses like straps, so it will fit in anything that will fit. And I don't know what kind of case do you use for your phone?
I just have sort of hard shell case on the
Yeah,
back of it.
yeah. I just have like a two-layer. It's like soft silicone underneath with a plastic shell on top. I don't know if I'd use a. Uh, it's not a folio. It's more like a book style. I just don't know if I'd use it even if I were to get one. But I like. For some reason, I really like the greenish aqua agumon one though. It looks really nice and it looks kind of classy.
I think I'd prefer the other one just because it reminds me more of Animal Crossing New Leaf with its colourful shapes all over the place.
Now, why don't you tell the audience about the very exciting next one?
Ooh, they have commemorative plates.
Yes, 2,000 yen and very. It's a bit under 7 inches around, and I'm trying to decide, is it going to be clear or white? Because you can't tell because of the backing image being white. Like, is it going to be glass or is it going to be ceramic? Do you get what I mean?
We'll never know. Well, we will know,
So,
but not
someone
for a
will
while.
take someone will take pictures of the damn thing, if only because we've been talking about it. But like, I like list the location of it, and it's not my type of thing, but it's kind of neat. I get the feeling this is the type of plate that someone will put on a stand in a cabinet somewhere. I
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we all had grandparents or aunts who did that sort of thing where you'd see a cabinet and it would have plates standing up in it.
yeah, it'd have like a glass
Yeah.
cupboard door in front of it.
Yeah, like one year for her birthday, I'd gotten my grandma a gag gift because she was a big Lucy fan. A local candy shop had Vita. I can't say it, but the Vita Veggie. It was a product that she was sold in an episode, and it was just like candy in a bottle, and she put it in the her cabinet. Um, so yeah, that's what that plate is going to be in cabinets in Japan and never be used. The next item is probably the most fairly priced of all, though. 30 different Digimon Adventure postcards. Each one is 150 yen. And they all
And
look.
it's
Sorry, go ahead.
they all look like screenshots from the show, basically, apart
Yeah.
from the odd one.
I'm hoping they kind of clean up them a bit for the postcards because the show's quality is sort of DVD-ish, and I hope it's cleaned up a bit for the postcards. But they've picked nice designs for them all, though.
Mm.
Yeah. Uh,
Some of them are screenshots from what I think is the last episode when they're all in the white void, or
yeah.
maybe the second to last episode. It's just all the main kids with the crests.
Yeah. Although what's weird is they've done them all um, landscape with the kids at an angle, except Takaru, who for whatever reason is portrait and straight on. Like they've done every single kid exactly the same except him, and they don't even include him with the others in the listing.
It's because he's the special one, isn't he?
Yes. But yeah, I like these, and I think they're fairly priced. But I think it's sort of the type of thing again where if you buy them, I'm not sure you're going to use them as postcards. I think you're going to like frame them or something. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I got a Digimon Adventure Try postcard in a loot box, and that's just on the wall
Yeah.
because
Okay.
it looks nice.
Okay. The next thing I really like. Do you know what a bromide print is?
I have no idea.
They're sort of the name is used in Japan, basically like prints of actors or characters, that sort of thing. These are 8 different bromide prints of the key art of the exhibition. Basically, nice prints, but they're listed as clear, so I don't know if they're see-through. Um, they're 4 by 6 inches and they're 250 yen each. These would be nice to get into like frame if you got all 8, I think, because it looks like they're not random packed. So you could get a whole set for about $15, and I kind of like the looks of them. It has them and they're clean and they all match, and I like that.
A lot of it looks nice, really. It's just not all of it's
The pro-
priced well.
the pro- well, the problem is a lot of it's not priced well, and a lot of it is it's not that it's all crap. It's that it's all the same type of crap we see at these things. So like
Yeah,
like we're always gonna get the can badges of exclusive art, but it, it it'd be nice if it wasn't all samey, but we wouldn't be getting so much stuff if they weren't making producible. Nine out of every 10 things are the same thing from place to place with a new design, but that's also why we're able to get so much stuff now. And it seems kind of weird to complain about getting so much stuff when there's been years where we've got nothing.
yeah. Digimon Adventure's like 15 years old now, so it's a miracle of getting
18
anything.
actually. It's bordering on 20.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
two
to be getting new stuff is
is
really
neat
nice.
regardless, and 2 different shirts. We have the Agumon again, and it looks like he's jumping out or on a little plate type thing. I don't know. It's like kind of like a circle behind him. I don't know what it's meant to represent. And a shirt with the crest, which they're basic clean shirts. I kind of overpriced for what's basically $30 each.
Yeah, you can get
Yeah,
more
yeah,
intricate designs on shirts
yeah.
at better prices.
Now the next one's overpriced but interesting. It's a because business cards are very important in Japan. It is a business card holder for 10,000 yen, which is about $100, and it looks classy, leathery on the outside. On the inside, you have artwork of the kids and everything. But here's the most interesting thing about this. I don't think we've ever seen that logo before.
Ah,
It's a Digimon Adventure logo done in the style of the American Season 1, Season 2 logo that says Digimon Adventure, and it looks to be roughly the same font. And have we ever seen anything like this before?
I can't remember ever seeing
Like it's
anything
one
where
of
it
those
says both Digimon and Adventure in
yeah,
English.
yeah, it's like one of those things where in my head I'm like, "Oh, we must have seen this before," but looking around I can't find anything. And it keeps getting me thinking like, why does this exist now? This can't exist just for this one product. And I don't
Hmm.
it's what yeah, it kind of gets the mind racing at what does this mean if anything. You know what I mean?
It's, it's intriguing.
Yeah, exactly. Um I don't use business cards, so I don't think that's of any interest to me, and I don't think it's of any interest to you.
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Yeah. And now we get some more straps. These are called scene straps. You get 2 on the same little keychain thing. One has like the fake film perforations and a quote, and the other has an image, and they can combine to make the scene. There's 4 of these for 900 yen each. That seems kind of pricey to me. It's the type of thing where I might grab one of them if I were there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
looking at the screenshots that they've chosen, there's only really one of them that I'd be interested in.
Koromon?
That'd be, yeah, the Time Coromon.
Yeah, I just like that one because it has personality to it in a specific way. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, the next item I feel like are the ones that people are going to try to import the most of, which are die-cut stickers. Generally, these are these, super high-end vinyl stickers that people will slap on their laptops or, permanent places.
yeah.
These are really fairly priced. These are 350 yen each. I kind of, sort of, maybe want a few of them. I don't know, but it feels like these are fair price though.
High quality stickers are good. They last a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah,
So for that price, I
yeah.
think it's pretty reasonable.
The next one is not fairly priced. It's a cap. They only show Agumon, but they mention 8 of them, so I assume it will be one for each Digimon. These are over $25 each for a hat.
It better be a good hat.
Well, it doesn't use the plastic strap on the back. It uses the cloth with the metal clamp, so at least that's nice. But I don't know. It's too much for me. And the next one is a crystal paperweight where it has the artwork of Taichin Agumon. It's $60 for what is literal. It is literally, and I mean when I say literally, I mean they use the term paperweight. I don't know. I kind of want it because I assume the artwork will be like etched in the middle of the crystal, and it just doesn't show well in photo. But I kind of want it to see.
Hmm. I'd be more interested if it was like a 3D model in the crystal rather than just artwork.
But see, that's the thing. For all we know, it's a 3D model of the art, and they're just not showing it that way. We don't really know.
Yeah, there's
I
no
mean,
way of
I, I,
knowing.
I mean, I assume it's just going to be a print or an etching, but who knows? Um, the next item, everyone seems to be very, very excited about, even though it's just more badges. It's big can badges again, but all the artwork is brand new and not used on any of these other products. Again, they're 3 inches each around. They're 500 yen each. They're blind packed again. But all the artwork is really, really good, and there's lots of personality to it, and I can see why everyone really likes these ones.
They look just really fun.
Yeah, like I'm sorry to say, I think if I were there, I would buy the limit of 10 in the hopes that I would get all 8 because these look really good. I really like the can badges are not my thing. The art on these is so good though. I want them all. Like which ones stand out to you?
The one that stands out most to me is Mimi and Lilymon,
That's
because
the one that seems to be standing out to everyone, and it seems to be a theme with Mimi since Try was announced. Everything with Mimi has tons of personality to it.
yeah, and what's really interesting is that it's the only one to have the ultimate version of the partner.
Oh yeah, I
Everyone else
did.
has the rookie or the in training or the champion.
I
Only
guess I
Mimi
guess
gets her
bec-
ultimate.
I guess because Lilymon works the best. They're kind of mirroring Mimi's pose.
Yeah.
Although they've sort of shrunk Lilymon to make that happen. And I kind of like Joe scuba diving with Gomamon.
It's
And
something quite funny about that one. It just looks like they've stuck Joe's head onto someone else.
yeah, but what's funny is he has his glasses underwater and he's not wearing the goggles. Um, Koshiro and Tentomon capturing a ladybug is just amusing. And I like how Koshiro's shirt has the pineapple on it. And it's just like, it's kind of stupid for us to just be talking about can badges that neither of us are going to get, but there's just so much personality to these. They really feel different than most of the things we've gone over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something unique about them.
Yeah, and I think they're the item that I've heard the most people comment on Twitter and elsewhere. Everyone just really loves these, and I can see why. And I hope these designs show up on other things because I think they'd sell out of basically anything they had with those designs.
Yeah, I think they would as well.
Yeah. So that's about all we can talk about for the badges because really it's just the artwork that we love from it. Next up, they're going back to the Digimon art from the real world exhibition itself, and these are small acrylic stands, and they're gonna be sold gacha style. So you put your money in the little gashapon machine, twist the thing, and out pops the ball. These are 500 yen each. Like, like they don't give a size for these, but how big can these be? Like these are gonna be
They
like
have to
tiny,
fit into one of those gachapon balls, so like a couple inches maybe.
maybe, but I don't know. Like I, I feel like this is something more like give us like a big poster of these. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I mean five and based on the size, 500 yen each might be much based on the size, which we can't really say because let's just be happy that because the signs have the names, that all the names, since they spelled them in English, are correct. Because late Toei and Bandai really are not good putting the names in English. So let's just be happy that the names are all correct. That's the one issue I have with the nice badges. They did Sunomon as Tunomon again. Yeah, I mean, the stands are. I feel like that's the type of thing that would go well on a desk, kind of the stands. But who knows?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know why I like these better than all the other keychains we've seen. These are about $12 each. Um, you get the kid and the partner each on a separate part of the keychain, and they're more like charms. And I think I like them because they're separate pieces, and the keychains themselves look really nice.
Yeah, like the keychains are golden.
Yeah, and you get a little strap thing on it that shows the logo of the event, and it feels nicer than the acrylic keychains we looked at earlier. I guess is the reason why I like it.
Just a little bit fancier.
Yeah, I mean more expensive though also. And the last item is the anime map on canvas for 3,000 yen, which is about $30. I don't know if it comes with the stand or not, but does it feel like this is just really small?
It's probably just because of the way they've
The stand.
displayed it.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in this if I knew the size, because this would be something neat to display.
Yeah, the artwork of the map is really nice,
Yeah,
and it reminds me a lot of just the Digimon World
yeah,
games in general, with how
yeah.
everything's
It's
jam-packed.
kind of weird in that it sort of feels like a mishmash of adventure and the old world games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then there's a couple bonus items. If you spend 3,000 yen or more, you get a postcard featuring the key art. And everyone showing up gets a sticker sheet for Digimon links. I don't know why I find that both silly and amazing, but it's a good promotion for links. And they are specifically noting that unless there's stock issues, they will open up the gift part section to people who are not going to the exhibition.
Hmm.
And that will be depending on crowd and stock and everything. And hopefully we get lots of pictures of that exhibition because it starts in a few days. So hopefully we get lots of pictures of it. I mean, how do you feel about it at all? Do you think there's going to be anything worthwhile, or do you think it's just going to be kind of gimmicky and junky?
It sounds like it'll be a really fun event, and there's there's some stuff in there that looks really good
Yeah.
and sounds like things I'd like to have.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's not. The problem is we know so little. It could. I hope there's some worthwhile stuff there, especially stuff we get pictures of. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was just gimmicky type stuff for everything. But we can hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah, like the giant Digivice. That's gimmicky, but for some reason I just really like it because it feels like there's been real effort put into it. It would be very easy to just have a giant Digivice that was done cheaply, but they have all the little stuff that we could see, and I just like that.
It sounds like an event I would go to if I was in Japan.
Yeah, and the ticket prices aren't really bad. That's the other thing. Even if you show up at the door, even if you want the commemorative items, it's about $33. If you don't want the commemorative items, it's under $20. So, and they're letting elementary school kids in free, which is good. Now, now we're gonna get on to our topic, which Stevie's gonna sort of take the lead on. Our topic is going to be kind of a sequel to last week's. How do you go about watching Digimon legally in the UK? And any second now, Stevie is going to see the image. There we go.
All of the British shows. I see Sherlock, Doctor Who, and Top Gear.
Yes, and of course the I believe it's the Union Jack
Yep, yes it
on
is.
the Digimon logo. So Stevie, why don't you what is the situation with people who want to watch Digimon legally in the UK?
Okay. If you want to watch Digimon in the UK, there's only really two places I could find it, and that was on Netflix and Amazon. On Netflix, they had the first two seasons of Digimon Fusion in, I think, both dub and sub. Or it might have just been dub.
I think it's just the dub.
I think it was.
I tried looking at UK listings and I could see the show, but it wouldn't really tell me more. So you can watch Fusion on Netflix, which is good.
Yeah, just the dub. I think
Yeah.
it was, if I remember now. And on Amazon, through the Amazon Video Services, you can get Digimon Adventure, Digimon Adventure 02, and Digimon Savers. And I think that's the only seasons you can get through Amazon Video.
Okay, and that's the paid service, if I'm correct, not Prime, right?
Yeah, that is the paid service. You don't get it included through
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
How are the how are the prices? Because there was a misprice on some of them a few weeks ago, and people were grabbing them up. I know that, but what's the normal price look like?
The normal price is £1.50 an episode.
So not that different than what we get here, which is $1.99 an episode.
It's still a lot of money when you take into account the amount of episodes.
Well, but I assume there's like a season or half season discount. I mean, is there?
On the first two seasons, you can get those for £25 each,
Okay,
which isn't that bad.
yeah, that's the price of basically what 12 and a half episodes, I think.
Roughly.
Okay, that's not bad, but Data Squad they leave full price for every episode.
Data Squad, for some reason, is still priced at £1.49 for the whole season. At least when I last checked.
Oh, so you can actually it's still mispriced. So if you live in the UK and you want Data Squad, rush and get it because it's $1.49 for the whole thing.
This was as of a few days ago, anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to double check it right now so I can
Okay, great.
confirm.
And you guys do have Adventure and 02 on DVD. And
Yep,
it
I've got both of those box
it uses
sets.
the new Toei Revised Season 2 logo, which is the closest revised English logo to not looking like crap.
Okay, I've just double checked,
Okay.
and sadly, season 5 is now $14.99 on Amazon Video.
$14.99? That's not bad, actually.
It's better than Adventure, which I think is still
$24.99?
$25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's not
Yeah,
bad. That's not bad overall if you use Amazon services. So as far as you know, it's not on any of the other UK services.
not on any that I'm aware of. And I have just double checked. Tamers and Frontier are on there as well on
Oh,
Amazon Video.
great. Okay, so then you guys now so you guys have everything on Amazon except Fusion, which is on Netflix. So it's basically the same as the US minus stuff like I don't believe Try's streaming. Atmon isn't streaming for either of us.
Nope.
Okay.
No,
So
man.
so you guys have seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. After many, many years of debacles with season one for you guys. Like, it used to literally be a running joke that every year or two, someone would go, and I don't remember the companies, but it'd be, we're going to release season one. Everyone in the UK would go, yay. And they'd go, we're going to do it volume by volume, starting with season one. And everyone would go, oh no. Because every time, only one or two volumes would get released. And they wouldn't understand why sales would be bad. It's because they were releasing the same episodes over and over again every year or two.
And people just want the box set.
Yeah, and I want to say that happened 4 or 5 times for you guys. And at the moment, you guys are sort of just waiting on hopefully getting more DVD boxes. Hopefully. And of course, you have Try next month.
Yep.
But
That's
still,
something to look forward to.
but still no streaming of Try.
No.
Yeah, I tried going over on the site once why streaming stuff seems to be such a mess in the UK. Basically, it seems like your guys' market is too big to be treated as a small market, but not big and mature enough to be a big market. So you're sort of stuck in like a no man's land. Where you're not small enough to be, well, okay, we can just give them the license cheap. There's only so many people and blah blah blah. You're too big for that, but you're too small to have, a fully matured streaming market. So you're kind of screwed.
That's good to hear, isn't it?
Yeah. But on the plus side, because you guys are, I believe Manga UK is officially kind of acting as a sub-licensee of Toei/Shout, you guys should get parts 2 and 3 probably on the same schedule we do later on, so hopefully a week later in each case for you guys.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And you're getting the full Blu-ray with both languages and everything, and I believe you're getting some some physical extras. So hopefully, yeah. Last I saw it was like a poster and some collectible card type stuff. Nothing super fancy, but some nice bonus stuff. So really, that question mark on the overlay ended up not being needed because it is just Netflix and Amazon for you guys.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Do you know if your guys' DVDs are PAL or if they're just NTSC? I believe they're just the same as the Australian PAL format discs, aren't they?
I'm pretty certain that the Region 2 discs, whatever that means.
Yeah. Okay. So your guys' discs are probably then Region 2 PAL, so they probably took the same masters used on the Australian discs and just did Region 2 for them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's about all we have to say about that. So for now, we'll go and take your guys' questions as they show up. Flip that to questions. And so just ask questions as you guys have them, and we'll go over them. Have your nerves calmed down a bit, Stevie, now that we're getting closer to the end?
I think you steered the ship in the right direction. Okay. So I was fine.
Good. So I guess out of all the news today, Steve, while we're waiting for questions, what do you think was the most interesting overall to you personally?
I'm probably going to read over the Hacker's Memory stuff in more detail because I'm looking forward to that game next year.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I'll get the figures, but I think I'm most excited for that. It's also really easy to be excited for that because we just found out about it. Like, I woke up a bit earlier than I planned to. It was like, oh, figures. And we don't really, right now, the potential for those are amazing. Who knows if they'll live up to them, but who knows?
Hopefully they'll be good.
Yeah, people are still thinking up their questions. So Hacker's Memories early next year, and you're looking forward to that. I want to know what's up with that logo on the business card holder. I'm sitting here, my brain is just sitting here going, I could swear I've seen it before, but I couldn't find any proof it existed. So if it didn't exist, they could have just made this just for a business card holder.
It's really odd that it's on there.
Well, it's like the type of thing like because you start theorizing. It's like, okay, you'd make a Digimon Adventure logo if what are we gonna get subtitled DVDs? Like
Maybe.
or or why would they make this logo at this point? Because it's been 18 years and they're using the normal Digimon Season 1 logo for products in the US right now. The domes use them.
Hmm.
No one have any questions? Well, then while we wait, then me and
What
Steve.
if? What if they're localizing the Digimon Adventure PSP game?
See, fuck you, Stevie. Because now I have hope in my heart, and I know they're not going to.
It's a PSP game. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, except they port PSP games to other systems all the time. They ported the Vita game to PS4 for us. They could do the
I would
same
be
thing.
really excited if they did localize that game.
Yeah, so would I. Like that's the game that we all kind of really want. Oh, a few questions. Okay, first question is from Nico. She wants to know, do we think Tamashi will make a figure for both Othaniman and Holy Dramon? I think Tamashi's going to make a figure of whatever ends up in Try, because I think at some point we're going to get a line of just, like the last forms of them with their Try designs, because like the picture we have of War Greymon, for example, that's not Try War Greymon. That's Adventure War Greymon. Like, ignoring that it says it's Adventure War Greymon, the design is the old one. Because the new one's a bit more mechanical, sort of.
Mm.
Yeah, so at some point, I think we will get more Try figures. I think it's easier for them to just go with nostalgia for now while Try's still running. Because who knows what could happen at the end of Try. I mean,
Who
yeah,
knows?
which figure would you prefer, Stevie? If you were to
I,
choose between like a gem figure of Ophanimon or Holy Dramon.
I'm assuming Holodramon is Magdadramon
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Just
So the
with
big
different
pink
names.
dragon snake thing.
I'd probably prefer the big pink dragon because I think it would look really cool as a figure.
Well, I think it would kind of look like, I want to say there was a recent gem. Let me see if I can. I believe there was a recent gem figure of the dragon from Dragon Ball Z.
Hmm.
So I imagine it'd be something sort of like that. Ah, yeah, there was one. Let me pull up an image, and I will link you, and I'll also link that in our chat so everyone can see that.
It'd be a much more interesting figure to have a big pink beast dragon
Yeah,
than it would to have just a holy angel
yeah,
woman.
yeah. I've linked you the image. I mean, I think we could get something like that for Holy Dramon, don't you?
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's sort of what I was imagining, just sort of the spiraling
Yeah,
design.
yeah. I think we could get something like that. I don't know if we will, but I think it'd be much easier for them to focus on Tailmon and Angelmon in general, just because those Digimon are so well known. But I wouldn't be shocked if we got a set of all the final forms, and that could be what Digivolving Spirits is. We just don't know. Um, okay, Juggernaut 100 asks. He's asking me how many Digimon Universe Apple Monster episodes have I seen, because I believe I asked you that earlier.
Yeah, I've
Um,
only seen the
I
first episode
I've actually
unzipped.
only seen the five because I was actually waiting to watch them as me and Victor were discussing them, and I was also waiting for the good copies from Onke. Onki, I don't know how to say her name, who's basically the only person who ever subs Digimon stuff well. So me and Victor have sort of just been sitting around waiting for stuff to catch up and all that. And so I'll end up seeing more of them. I like what I've seen so far. It's very fun and it's very good. It's enjoyable to watch.
The episode that I did watch was fun, and that was without subtitles.
Yeah,
So,
I think Apple Monsters is the type of thing that I think it would be very popular among fans if Crunchyroll got it and subtitled it, or if someone dubbed it. I'm not even sure you need to edit it from what I've seen. I think everything fits in with the generic child friendly type American dubs you get for kids show. I think it'd be perfectly fine for, like, I think if, let's say, Crunchyroll got it and paired it with Funimation, I don't think have to punch down or punch up to dub it well, and I think it'd be all ages, and I think it'd work great.
It's very in at the moment.
Yeah.
Just look at Yokai Watch,
Yeah.
how that's
Um,
blown up.
so while we wait for more questions, Stevie, what kind of video games interest you in general?
Ooh, all of them.
Well, like, where's your passion lie for video games?
Ooh, all of them. I honestly play far too many video games of almost any genre.
Yeah, I used to do that. I play less now, but I still play a lot of games.
What have you been playing recently?
Just random games on the NT Mini, to be honest.
What's the NT Mini?
The NT Mini is a well-known engineer named Kevtris designed an FPGA system for the company Analog. Basically, unlike say, it's not an emulator and it's not original hardware. Basically, what it is the system runs off what's called an FPGA, field programmable gate array. The gate array receives programming from whatever. It could be data on the motherboard or data on an SD card. And it explains to the gate array how to format itself so that it simulates hardware perfectly. So, like, if you
it's an emulator, basically.
Not
but,
really. Basically,
sort of.
It's more a simulator. It simulates chips exactly. So if you know how a system's put together, you don't need to emulate the hardware because the FPGA becomes the hardware. And Kevtris has been making FPGA cores for years for himself and for future projects, and he's been porting all of them to the NT Mini. And so you can have an HDMI output NES, Sega Master System, Game Gear, Game Boy. All these systems run properly on modern TVs through this. And, I have wireless controllers for it and everything.
That is high-tech stuff.
Yeah, so like, for example, trying to play an Atari 2600 on a modern TV can cause some issues. You need to get a frame meister, you want to get the system modded so it'll output RGB, and you're still playing with wired controllers and you have to swap around what's plugged in where. I just go into the menu on the NT Mini and have it switch over to the 2600 core if I want to play old Atari games. So I've just been playing random games while waiting for the next core, which is going to be the Intellivision, because I actually recently bought an Intellivision game. I actually bought the ROM from the creator of the game so that I'd be able to load it on right when they update it.
Huh.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Or me and Stevie just going to talk about video games and Digimon for a few minutes? What game's coming out that you're looking forward to?
Ooh.
All of them.
Well, games that are coming out.
Yeah.
There's one major release that I'm looking forward to later this year for PC called Finding Paradise, which is a sequel. It's a sequel to the Moon.
Don't think I'm familiar with that one. Stevie, how can you not be looking forward to the new Mario game?
There's a new Mario game?
I don't know if you're joking or not, Stevie.
I've not got a Switch, and I've not got any intention of getting one.
Oh, you haven't seen the trailer for Mario Odyssey? Oh, Stevie.
It looks like it's Sonic 06, but Mario.
Yeah, except Nintendo knows how to make a game. Oh, so you have seen the trailer, Stevie?
Yeah, I still watch the Nintendo Directs.
I'm waiting on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. My copy was delayed to Monday.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's annoying when you pre-order things and then they don't come on time.
Yeah, it's yeah, it I just want my game. But yeah, I already beat Zelda and got the true ending.
How long did that take you then?
Oddly, not that long because the true ending does not require you to do stuff like get the Korok seeds or to do all the shrines. There's only specific things you have to do, and those were things I was doing generically anyways. So I got the game on, I want to say Friday, and I want to say I had the true ending by Monday or Tuesday of
You
the.
must have been playing quite a bit over the weekend then.
I was, but it didn't like. People were like, "You must have been playing 24/7." It's like it really didn't feel like I was. I think I was, sort of picking it up, putting it down, because running the site and doing stuff. So I don't really know because the hour countered. I want to say it said maybe over 20 or 40 hours, but it wasn't accurate enough to be sure. But it didn't feel like it was unreasonable.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I guess what are you in the midst of playing?
I've just finished playing Bloodborne on PS4.
Yeah, I haven't played
So
Bloodborne yet.
I kind of recommend it. Like it's one of those games that isn't fun to play, but it's very rewarding to play.
That's code for it's just going to kick my ass, isn't it?
It probably will. Quite a lot.
Yeah, Bloodborne will be behind some of the ROM hacks I want to play on the NT Mini for now.
Mm. Well,
Like,
other games that I'm playing at the moment, I've got Horizon Zero Dawn on the go, which has been. I think I've played it for 10 hours over 2 days,
that
and I
that
need to go
that's
back to
that's
it and
that's
carry
the
on.
big PlayStation 4 one, right?
Yeah, it's the new IP
Yeah, a friend of
thing.
mine got that and has been obsessed with the game lately.
It's a really good mix of lots of previous open world games that have been released. It takes the
Hmm.
best elements from the genre, really.
That's interesting. At some point I'm sure I'll get it, but it feels like it's the type of game I'm gonna wait for it to be like on discount.
Yeah,
Yeah. So at the moment I'm just waiting for the occasional game like Mario Kart and just playing through ROM hacks. Like I'm in the midst of playing through, and I first played it years ago on an emulator, but I'm playing it now on the actual system. Super Mario 3 Mix.
okay.
All
So
right,
I'm guessing that's a remix of the third game.
sort of. They take the engine from Mario 3, and each world is based on a different Mario game, but they've actually built stuff from the Mario games into the engine. So, like when you get to the world based on Mario Galaxy, there are gravity physics and everything. Or there's enemies from Mario Land and Mario Land 2, along with items from those games. When you go to, I think it's Dinosaur Island, they actually got Yoshi working on the NES. Or at one point you go to Delfino Island and the Delfino people throw you up like they do in Mario Sunshine. So it's basically a giant Mario game that's a mishmash of all of Mario's history. There's Subcon from Mario 2, and the enemies in that world generally don't get hurt if you jump on them. You have to jump on them and pick them up and then throw them.
Hmm.
So it's just this huge fun mishmash of everything Mario. And it's not one of those ROM hacks where it's just balls hard kicking your ass.
Yeah, those ones are
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, so Mario 3 Mix, I've been excited about that one for a long time, but there's a different feeling between sitting at your computer on an emulator and playing on not original hardware but real hardware.
Yeah, there's just something different about having it on a console
Yeah,
rather than a PC.
yeah. And and like I said, I'm waiting for the Intellivision because I have that game. And the game is a guy made his own sequel to Donkey Kong.
A, what, a sequel to the original Donkey Kong
Yes.
game?
So like more stages in that vein. He's added alternate characters that have some of their own attributes. And it's on just a system that came out before the NES did, which had a historically very poor version of Donkey Kong. And the cartridge also has him remaking Donkey Kong for that system from scratch. So I'm really looking forward to that. I just need to wait for the Intellivision core to be released. But I already have the game ready.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've had some more comments in the chat that I think we should look at. Comments and questions from people.
Yeah, let's see. Juggernaut was commenting on. Oh, Juggernaut and Justin has commented on Zeroscape, the Nonary games. I'm not familiar with that one, actually. Are you?
I've played Virtue's Last Reward, and I've got Zero Time Dilemma, which I want to get onto straight after Steins Gate Zero.
Okay, and Juggernaut also commented that he's looking forward to Destiny 2. Um, I'm just not into FPSs like I used to be.
I've pretty much never been into them.
Well, like
the only real FPS there's like two FPSs that I've played,
well, like
which are Overwatch, because everyone plays Overwatch.
I have never played it.
Super Hot, which is more of a strategy game than a first-person shooter.
Yeah, I grew up in that odd combination of late 80s, 90s, early 00s. So I remember like tons of first-person shooters, but at some point I just sort of fell out of them. The last one that I really just played hardcore was Unreal Tournament 2004, and I actually got this headset for this back then. And I don't know, it's just really fun. And anytime I try playing a first-person shooter now, it just feels like it's just not fun to me personally. But I probably should play one of the more modern team ones. Like I played Team Fortress 2 a bit, and that was fun. And I've heard Overwatch is similar to that.
Overwatch is really good. I recommend finding friends that own the game as well and playing it with them.
That seems
entirely a team game.
That seems to be the suggestion, is that if you can find friends to play with, then it's fun.
I play Overwatch with my sister on the PS4 quite a lot. I own it on both PC and PS4 just because I have friends with it on different systems.
I assume you'd recommend that for PC.
I'd recommend it for either of them. Just get it on the platform that you have more friends with the game on.
So what you're saying is I should ignore Overwatch and get Mario Kart.
No. Unless Overwatch comes out on Switch.
I already have a Switch, so.
You should get it. If Overwatch comes out on Switch, that would be really cool, actually.
Yeah.
But also very pointless unless you have portable Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, remember, it is a console also.
Yeah, but it doesn't take advantage of the portability.
Yeah, that's true. Although, to be honest, I was sitting at my desk with Zelda in portable mode more often than I probably want to admit. Where I would just have it behind me sitting, and I'd be like, go back to Zelda, play, and then I would go back to doing stuff on the computer.
Yeah, I've been neglecting my 3DS more than anything.
What do you think of the new 2DS XL?
It's really pointless.
It feels like they're trying to create a niche that doesn't exist.
Yeah, the point of the 2DS was it's for younger kids,
and it's cheap, and it's
3D for health reasons,
and it's unbreakable.
Yeah, so they've just gotten rid of all the kid-friendly stuff and instead just gone. Here's a 3DS. It's big, and there's no 3D.
And it's it looks really nice though, doesn't it?
It looks nice, but it's just an inferior version of the 3DS XL, which has no real reason to exist.
Now, here's the important thing. Release Appmon in the US and UK, and then release the game for it. Because, ironically, everyone who understands Japanese enough to try to play it has said it's basically like the best or one of the best Digimon games ever. The Atmon
Hmm.
3DS game.
I'll have to ask May from Lost in Translation Mod about that.
Yeah, everyone seems to enjoy it. I want it. Come on, so someone license it and release the damn game.
Well, there's a group of people working on a fan patch for redigitized decode for the
Don't
3DS.
care.
But maybe after that they might move on to something else, and maybe it could be Atmon.
Yeah. I
Who
don't really
knows?
care because these fan patch projects, ignoring that I just don't care and we just don't bring them up on the site that often, they generally take so long that they're not really realistic to really sit around and wait for.
Mm.
I mean, the adventure one started what 3, 4, 5 years ago, and it's
Yeah, the
still not,
adventure one's still not
and
happened.
it's still not done.
There is one that's come out which was for just the original redigitized PSP game.
Eh. Yeah, but that's a subpar version of a game that had an improvement. What, a year later?
Yeah, the same team's working on the
Yeah,
decode version now.
yeah. I just can't care.
Maybe they'll do it faster this time round, with it being the second attempt at a game.
Who knows?
I
Uh,
already have the 3DS cartridge, so when it does come out, I'll be able to play it in English at last. Instead of playing it with my phone out and Google Translate, constantly taking pictures of the
Wait,
screen.
it was two. It was just the DS, wasn't it?
No, redigitized decode was for the 3DS.
I must be misremembering then.
It was Digimon World
No, yeah,
redigitized
yeah, you're
decode.
right. 3DS. See, for some
I
reason,
keep
see the
I keep
game.
having to
See,
update
the
and remember
game's
it.
bordering on being so old for how we expect releases to be that it felt like it was older.
Mm,
Yeah, I just want the Atmon game to come out because it looks good, and it's nice that we're getting games again and getting them reasonably quickly at a good quality.
yeah,
Now we just want more. You've
just keep them coming.
you've given us something, Bandai. Now we demand more. Yeah, so I think we're about done. Is there anything other Digimon stuff you want to talk about?
Other Digimon stuff to talk about.
Like any
Mm.
feelings about any of the recent news, for example, that we didn't.
We've covered a lot of the news really.
Well, I meant news from
But
before, the last week or so. Any feelings about any recent information we've gotten about Digimon?
I honestly don't keep up with the news that much.
I
I'm
have no
the
choice
worst
but to keep up
Digimon
with the
fan for
news.
that. Like, I get my news through Twitter. I'm one of those people. So, and even then, I'll miss tweets all the time. I
Well,
I keep up with Digimon just in terms of the rewatching for the podcast. That's that's how much Digimon I keep up with.
I have to keep up with everything so I can post the news.
You are the news.
I'm the law.
Like on the Moncast, when my co-host tries to start doing news, I then go, "No, we don't do news." Because as soon as we start doing the news, then people will expect us to do news every episode, and that is time-consuming and takes lots of effort.
Is that terrifying to you, Stevie?
Yeah, it is. We've rarely done news. We've done it like maybe when Pokemon starters were announced once.
Did
That's
it
the
did
closest
did
thing
it
to
help?
news we've done.
Did it help at all seeing how calm and easily we were able to move through the news today?
It was very well done. It was nicely organized. I
Oh,
didn't have to do any of it, which made it really easy.
okay, we have a few more questions. Juggernaut asked, "What consoles do we have?" Do you want to go first?
Sure. I have a PS4. I have a PS3 with backwards compatibility for PS2 and PS1. I have a new Nintendo 3DS XL. I have a PSP, and I have a PS Vita, and I have a PC which is good enough to run most games on at least low. So, yeah, I have quite a lot of consoles. Oh, and I have a PlayStation VR headset.
Oh, how's
Uh,
that?
It's really, really good. It's
Neat.
amazing.
Yeah, I haven't been able to try any VR stuff yet. My phone doesn't fit in any of the cardboard headsets companies make.
That
So
sucks.
anytime I've been able to get one, promotionally for free, my phone doesn't fit in it, so I can't use it to
Oh,
even try. Um, the systems I have, and I'm not gonna go through everything because a lot of older stuff is in storage or otherwise in boxes. Stuff that's hooked up right now is PlayStation 4, Switch. In another room, I do have an Xbox One hooked up, but I haven't used it in a while, just because I don't use that TV that much. I have a 3DS XL. At the moment, my AVS is unplugged, but I plan to bring it in here to use for streams. And my NT Mini and Switch are hooked up on my main TV also.
hmm.
And I'll
We
play games on tablets and phones and computer also.
I don't use my phone for games. My
I,
phone's pretty much entirely for YouTube and podcasts.
I use it for stupid games.
Hmm.
Like I occasionally jump into Digimon Heroes. Uh,
I tried it and it's requires no effort on the player's part at all.
there,
All
there,
that you do
there,
is tap.
there is some when you get to harder stuff, but it borders on not being fun.
Yeah, for me it just wasn't fun.
Um, I've been trying the Power Rangers Legacy at the moment. That actually shockingly does require actual effort to play. I was kind of shocked at it. It's sort of like a very, very basic, rudimentary fighting game, collecting game. The fighting system actually works reasonably well for a phone game. Basically, what they do is you can only move left and right by swiping your hand, and on the right side you get three attacks at any time that swap in and out based on you using them, and it takes points to use them. And your points charge up when you aren't attacking.
Hmm.
So it's just a very rudimentary fighting game, and it's not bad, but it borders on repetitive.
Well, a lot of these mobile games are designed to just get you in a gameplay loop
Yeah,
until you pay for things.
yeah. Um, but there are ones that are legitimately good that don't do that, but they're fewer far between. Like Impossible Road, I think I actually got that during a promotion when it was free on my phone. It's sort of like those various like marble games where you're playing as a marble or a ball going down a path.
Yeah, I think I've actually played this on my Kindle Fire.
Okay, yeah, it's really good, and there's no in-app purchases, and it just goes on forever with its rules, and it's quite fun actually. And let's see. Oh, another question from Nico. Aside from humans, what Digimon would you like to see as figures?
Ooh, I'm assuming that they'd want ones that aren't already available as figures.
That's what
So
I assume.
that aren't like humanoid Digimon, do they mean? It's hard to tell.
See, the problem with asking me the question is like I actually really like Omegamon, so I have no issue seeing more Omegamon figures, even though many people are just tired of them.
I'm not bothered about Omega Man.
No, like I do,
It's a pretty boring design, really.
but a design less complicated also means though that we tend to get nicer figures of him.
It's harder to mess it up.
Yeah, you don't need to like if you mess up the wings on an Angelomon, the figure ends up being crap, for example.
Mm.
It's hard to screw up in Omegamon, even if you're interpreting the design and changing stuff.
But what Digimon would I like? I'd like to see Kabuterimon, I think. Kabuterimon would look really cool.
Yeah, he actually would. See, I'm trying to think of like characters that we got figures of in the old days, but like who would probably benefit from a nice modern figure. And
I'd love a Seedramon one.
You know who I was actually thinking of that would work really good, like as a fig arts, Saint Galgamon,
Saint Galgamon?
the Terriermon's final form.
Oh, Mega Gargomon.
Yeah.
I only really know the dub names.
I know them both, and I just swap between them at random, confusing people.
Yeah, like
Be-
you just did to me.
yeah, because I can literally just swap between them as long as I remember the names. I've been trying to keep from doing that on the podcast unless we're talking about a specific dub or subtopic.
Mm.
But yeah, like a modern figure of him, I feel like would be really good.
Yeah. I'm just imagining the Sujimon though. I just like the long,
Well,
sleek
well,
sort of dragon
ironically, I
designs.
think Seedramon would be roughly the same as what we were talking about for Magnadramon slash Holydramon,
Yeah,
where
exactly.
we'd sort of just get a snake type figure.
I still think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd probably buy a Dark Masters figure set if they ever did one of those.
See, I'm
Machine Dramon would be a
see,
great figure.
I'm trying to decide would they actually do like figures of them, or would we get like one statue with all four of them? It kind of feels like that might be better as like a group statue type thing.
That'd be really expensive probably, but it'd also look awesome
Well, okay,
and would be big.
maybe it'd be like what they've done for the Ninja Turtles a few times, where you get four statues that can all push together.
Yeah, I could see something like that with Dark Masters.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I just don't know if the Dark Masters work as stuff without being, just small cheap stuff. I feel like that's also
Mm,
why we keep getting the adventure kids with the Digimon because they work really well to sell them.
yeah,
And yeah, Nico's brought up that let's see, and he has like three different names, so I'm just gonna say Henry. They seem to be skipping Henry whenever they can.
yeah,
They haven't announced a third D arc for him. Everyone else in Tamers is getting fancy gem figures except for him. There's no love for Henry.
no. Well, he was Chinese, wasn't he, in
I,
the original version?
I think
Or
he
he was like
was
half Chinese.
half Chinese, but he seemed to
Yeah,
be a popular character, and Terriermon's always been very popular. I mean, we get all the
yeah, but
we get all.
Henry's bland,
But what I mean
from what I
is,
remember.
but I mean, like for example, they've done. But why wouldn't you do like a Rapidmon figure at least, like a Rapidmon gem figure? Just Rapidmon, in like an action pose that would sell.
Yeah, absolutely would.
And then to be assholes about it, they could then do a variant of Rapidmon in the gold armor.
But
Get double bang for their buck.
mm.
Yeah, I think we're about done with questions. We'll wait a minute to see if anyone else pops up with one, and if not, then we'll finish off. So
What
I
did you think of Cyber Sleuth?
didn't play through it. I played it a bit, and then I decided, you know what? I'm not a big fan of the raising aspects, and the RPG aspects are fun, but they're also very old in style.
Yeah, it's very traditional RPG.
Like, and I like that, but for me, playing it for a few hours, it made my brain go. There really isn't, and I know there are differences, but just in the perspective of me thinking about it while playing it, it's like there's not really differences except visually from the old DS Digimon story games, which I got tired of years ago.
Mm.
So I sort of went, this just isn't very fun to me.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, and it's sort of like the aspect of I want to play through it and finish, and but it's just a matter of if I have the time, do I want to play an RPG that's going to take me many hours? And it's not like I've written it off, but I clearly haven't had fun with it already. or am I gonna go try playing something weird that I've never played before?
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to play through it, but I don't want to spend the time on it. If that makes sense.
You knew exactly what you were going to get if you kept playing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, okay, you like the game. Did you play the old Digimon story games when they came over here as the Digimon World DS games?
I played Digimon World Dusk,
Okay.
and
Uh,
I
in in
played that all the way through as well.
in fact,
Really
I
liked that.
believe Dusk was the last one I played. Ignoring stuff like story differences or graphic differences, is there a huge difference to you between those games, gameplay wise? Or is it more of a game you already liked?
Um, really, there isn't that much different between the two
Like
games.
like I've been
It's
like I've been
just
to-
more of the same.
like I've been
But
told the raising stuff is much better in Cyber Sleuth. But that's never been my thing to begin with. But so the rest of the gameplay, it feels like, oh, I'm playing the same game that I got tired of 10 years ago, but it looks really nice.
mm. Oh.
And I guess the issue is the story is interesting and I'm vaguely aware of the whole story. Is the story enough that I'm going to slog through gameplay that I really don't want to play?
Well, for me, that's the question with most RPGs, because RPGs tend to bore me. But for me,
Yeah.
it was Digimon, and it had a story which kept me
Okay, fair enough.
engrossed enough to want to play through it all.
See, you know what the Digimon RPGs could use? More
What?
gameplay like Mario and Luigi.
What you mean?
Well, that's an RPG series where where the battle system is legitimately fun and it has you interacting to do it. Are
But
you?
it is just quick time events, really, isn't it?
But it's quick time events integrated
That's what
into
I've
the
seen.
RPG stuff. Because here's the thing: if you don't do it, it still plays like a classic RPG. If you do the quick time events, things change, especially with special attacks. So what I'm saying is
Mm.
it feels like there's more to do and there's more interaction to it. And of course, each type of thing has its own event to do.
Mm. I was pretty happy with how Digimon handled the RPG formula. There were
Uh,
lots of good
I'm not
quality of life things in there.
I'm not dishappy with it. It feels very plain to me. And I feel like I'd probably be able to forgive more of the gameplay if I did not have to worry about the leveling down stuff,
Mm.
which as far as I'm aware, the adventure game does not have. You're just leveling up the characters and that's it.
Yeah, with Cyber Sleuth, it was every time you Digivolve, it's back to level 1. But
Yeah,
then you always level up really quickly again, so
yeah,
it's not that big a deal.
yeah, yeah. But it always felt like to me that it just was too much. Not too much effort. It's just I would rather just level up my characters and be done with it.
Mm.
And that's just my feeling on it. But
There were sort of levels within levels with the whole Digivolution
yeah, and then you
added to it.
digivolve them down so that they have higher stats, and then you can digivolve them back while getting their levels back up. Also,
Yeah. You only usually Digivolve back down if you had no way to Digivolve further, or if you wanted a specific one.
okay.
It was only the best
So
of the
so
best
what is
Digimon.
so what was your normal team for that game?
I just picked some of my favorite megas and had those. So I usually had like a Metal Seedramon that was in there,
See, I feel like
and
that's
Mega Gargomon.
I feel like if I was gonna play, that's what I would do. Also, is just pick my favorites, and I think that's pretty much the wrong way to play, probably. Even though I
But
would
when
play.
you're just doing the story mode, it honestly doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
If you want to play online, then you have to be very picky
Okay.
because everyone that's still online is just on the top of the game
Okay.
with the best formulas.
So, as a cyber sleuth fan, how's Hacker's Memory looking to you?
It looks like more of the same, and I'm honestly quite happy to just play that again.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Before the game was announced, everyone was like, more Cyber Sleuth, more Cyber Sleuth, more Cyber Sleuth. We want more, more of the same. Then it got announced, and a lot of people seemed to be kind of upset that it was more Cyber Sleuth.
I think people probably wanted the same sort of game, but not such an identical setting. Like, this is a direct sequel to Cyber Sleuth, pretty much.
But I mean, like when I tend to think Next Order just wasn't a good game. But a lot of the complaints for Next Order was that it was not Cyber Sleuth. And now we're literally getting more Cyber Sleuth, and some people kind of seem upset about that. And the people who are upset about it were people who are going more Cyber Sleuth, more Cyber Sleuth.
Well.
Yeah.
Some people just can't be pleased.
Yeah. So.
But I'm just happy that we're getting Digimon games again.
Yeah, it's not only that. It's like we have it announced for us before it's out in Japan. That is insane. Like, we're only a month and a half or so out from it being announced at all. And that's kind of weird when you really think about it for Digimon.
It's especially good in the UK. Where
because
I don't think we'd had a Digimon game since like the Rumble Arena games back on the PS2. And then we got All-Star Rumble, which tested the waters.
Well, but
and I don't think it went too well. But it was the start.
But generically, minus the Data Squad game, I think that's been roughly the same for us, game-wise.
You got the Digimon story games for the DS.
Didn't you guys?
We didn't get those.
You didn't get Dusk or Dawn either?
Nope. We didn't get any Digimon World story games or whatever in the UK.
Huh, I thought
we had to import them from the US.
I thought you guys got them as a tie-in when Data Squad aired on Kicks or whatever that channel was called.
Nope. I don't think we ever got any of the Digimon DS games.
Huh, okay. So, that's a bit different then.
If we had got those, I'd have been all over them. Instead, I have to buy cheap knockoff copies off eBay and pray that they work.
Okay, so, and you guys got Cyber Sleuth on both PS4 and Vita?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. So Hacker's Memory is next year, and I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk about Hacker's Memory and Cyber Sleuth at some other point.
Yep, I'll have to buy them on both consoles.
Yeah. Any recommendations for non-game stuff for people to look at? Any books you've been reading? Any TV you've been watching? Anything to recommend in general?
Well, I don't read that much. I can recommend a YouTube channel. If it's called No Clip, and they do video game documentaries, and they are really, really good. They focus on usually a specific title, and they'll often get the developers in and interview them, and they're really awesome video game documentaries.
Okay.
So check them out on YouTube.
Okay.
And also check out Game Maker's Toolkit on YouTube, because that's how I found out about that other channel as well.
Okay.
Through the Patreon.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like it's I can't remember his channel name now, but it's Norm. Why can't I remember his name?
I've watched quite a lot of YouTube.
Okay, the Gaming Historian. I can't believe I forgot the name. If you're not familiar with that channel, watch that. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course stuff like, most of the stuff, the gaming YouTube stuff I watch, generally everyone knows. Game Grumps, LGR.
I don't watch either of those.
Those are Game Grumps can sometimes be sometimes it can depend. LGR is great though, especially if you like older stuff.
Does LGR stand for something?
Lazy Game Reviews. Lazy Gaming Reviews.
Okay.
I forget which one.
It was confusing me because there's a podcast that I've heard of, and I think guested on called Lapsed Gamer Radio, which has the same initials.
Okay. Yeah, Lazy Game Reviews is great because it is of a lot of technical stuff also.
This is a
So like, you like at one point he gets I don't believe you guys ever got them in the UK. In the 90s there was a Hot Wheels PC. It was like a junky put together PC, but it came with like a racing wheel, and the computer was all painted to look like a Hot Wheels car. Had a bunch of themed accessories and software, and it was just a junk computer overall. He gets a hold of one and he fixes it and rebuilds it. And loads old Hot Wheels software on it and everything. And it's fun, especially if you like old games.
I don't think I'm really old enough to like old games that much. My gaming history goes back to the PS1, and that's about as far back as it goes.
Not old enough.
I've got the odd Game Boy and NES game on my 3DS on Virtual Console, but I've not played a few of them.
Just not interested, or just not aware enough of it because you're younger?
No, I've got them all downloaded. It's just I have to be in a certain mindset to play them, because it takes more imagination than it does with modern games.
Yeah, see, I like that though, especially when you get some of them that are just plain weird. Like it's just fun though. Or like I like his videos where he'll go around the thrift shop seeing what old stuff he can find and put back together. I think we're about done.
It sounds like it.
Anything else you'd like to go over before we finish?
My imagination isn't broken.
We broke Stevie.
No, I've been broken for years.
Good. So I didn't cause it. Okay then. Thank you for being on, and we actually put this together rather quickly, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, and
It's been quite fun.
And make sure to check out the Moncast. I haven't listened to it just because I just don't have a lot of time to flip through all the various Digimon. I've sort of taken the view of I don't want to listen to one over the other, so I sort of just don't listen to any unless I specifically see a topic that appeals to me.
Well, we are probably one of the shortest Digimon and Pokemon podcasts out there. So I highly recommend us. We have a fun time doing it.
No, that's the important thing.
We often rip into Pokemon, so if you're one of those Digimon fans, you'll enjoy it a lot.
Kill the
Just
Pokemon.
Be prepared when we rip into Digimon as well. We try and treat them pretty equally.
Well, good. Okay. Thanks everyone for showing up.
Yeah, I've never been on a live stream before.
How'd you handle it overall, do you feel?
I was expecting it to go much worse. Well, that's just me.
Yeah, I think I'd gotten a message from you a day or two ago where you're like, I haven't done anything live before, I have concerns. Or something along those lines, I believe.
I often have concerns.
Do you want to... Oh, wait, notice two more questions. So first, CMC asked, do we think we're going to get I don't think getting a trailer for Part 5 has anything to do when we got a trailer last year at all. I think people need to stop looking for these patterns in Try that don't exist. Because they don't exist. The fact that we got a trailer last year in June has nothing to do with now. The other question was, what's the YouTube channel for the Moncast and your own show, just so people can find it if they'd like it.
I would link myself, but I don't think I'm allowed. So you can find us on SoundCloud. Yes, there are no clouds.
I will put links in the show notes. Let's make that easy.
SoundCloud.com/the-Moncast. Or we're on iTunes as well if you want to search there. We're on Stitcher as well. I'm sure most of these links will be in the show notes. You can even just go to our own podcast if you want and copy from there. All
Okay.
of the links will be at the bottom in those if you want to add them onto here.
Okay, great.
And my own YouTube channel, I'm impossible to find because I think I'm just called Stevie. So I will have to link it somewhere. I'll share a link in the show notes.
We'll just
And that's
in the show notes I may just have Stevie in all caps with an exclamation point. Stevie.
yeah.
Okay.
All that's on my YouTube channel right now is a couple dumb Digimon things and the games I played podcast and one video of me doing a Bloodborne boss using cheesy tactics because it was the worst boss I've come across.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you again for being on the show. I'm sure we'll probably have you back. It was fun.
Yeah, it's like, am I the first guest I've been on?
You're the first guest who is not part of the show in any way. Because
Well, it's
Justin,
only up here for me.
yeah, Justin,
It can only go uphill
yeah,
with guests from here.
Justin's co-hosted the show, but he's part of the show to some degree. So I guess to finish off with Stevie, if you had to pick one product from the museum crap, which would you want?
One of the things with Patamon. The Patamon keychain. There's probably one of those.
Okay.
I need to get a Patamon keychain. I've not got one.
Probably not one that you're going to import from Japan expensively, though.
Probably not.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's about it. Yeah, hopefully we get. I really want pictures of all that crap because it's either going to be really good or really bad, that event. I don't know which, but I'm hoping good because the previews seem good.
It has lots of potential to be good.
Yes. Okay, so I think that's about it. Thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks to Stevie for co-hosting. We will definitely have someone else based on who I can find the next week or two, and of course, very congratulations to Victor, who's off getting married right now.
Of DNA digivolving with someone.
Which is a very good excuse to not be on the podcast. I can't be on the podcast because I'm getting married that day.
Just don't use that excuse more than once, or you might get suspicious.
Juggernaut, we don't know who the next person is. We have ideas. Me and May have talked a bit about her doing it, and I think Stevie would agree she'd be a very good choice based on if schedules can fit because of time differences.
Yeah, we've had a guest on the Moncast in episode 15 if anyone wants to look that up.
Yeah, the main reason that we were able to do a show so easily here is Stevie is the UK version of me staying up too late. So I believe at this point it's past midnight for Stevie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so thank you because it let us match times very easily, knowing that he had abnormal hours also.
I've been consistently staying up till 4 a.m. without even intending to.
Yeah, that happens to me also. But it means that we were able to get times together very easily and quickly. And I'm very glad I did not suggest recording on Friday since we got that figure news right on the weekend. And I think that's about it. We will definitely have you again, though, Stevie.
I'd be happy to come on again.
Stevie may be the replacement co-host anytime we have products to go over, since Victor has effectively said he will refuse to do it in the future. Victor does not like going over the products when we have pop-up shops and stuff. It drives him actually insane.
Wow. I don't mind because I'm very good at switching off. Yeah. Just letting you handle it.
Well, but I think it's fun to also discuss the stuff that comes up that isn't, like, a lot of it's piddly crap. But like I think it is interesting to look at, like, they have a theme for it. The theme's basically the key art. But then, like, they sort of twist it around for, say, the smartphone cases where they went with different colors. or the random can badges near the end that had completely different images on them. And like that's like one of the high points of it is these stupid badges that none of us really want, but we want them because the art is just so weird and good. You know what I mean? Or like discussing a weird, oversized, overpriced paperweight. None of us are gonna get it, but it's kind of stupid and weird to discuss, don't you think?
It's fun that this stuff exists.
Yeah, it's stuff that most of us are never gonna get. But it's fun to make sure that everyone knows what the hell's going on. Minus maybe the weird plate, which I still find funny that we don't know we don't know the material because of the color they use for the background.
uh,
It's just fun. Thank you everyone for showing up. We will catch you next time with more than likely not Victor. Need to talk to May some more to see if it'll be her or who else it may be. Thank you all for showing up, and we will catch you next time.